I'm not going to say a single word about the Tennessee Titans record against the Indianapolis Colts because I was a punter, and there's no reason for me to talk about that. With that being said, we did not punt much against the Tennessee Titans, so you probably have no clue who I am to begin.
Look, I'm unstoppable. Forget your defense, nothing but an obstacle. Run it back, switch it up, call it audible. Serving up them Hail Marys till the game over with the showstopper. So hot, you gotta blow on it. I said I'll huff and I'll puff, then I'll pass to my left while I'm looking to my right. Hit him right in the chest. It be looking like magic, better give me the throne. I ain't talking about Patrick, but I rep my home. I'm never at the end of my zone. I'm bad to the bone, eating up these pig skins like they chicharrones, and you a douche cabron. Mira, mira at the mirror on the wall. I'm the greatest of them all. They gon' put me in the hall. Your name is only written in a bathroom stall. Quit your stalling and make a play. My drive too long, pop the clutch, I don't pump the brakes. I know what it takes to gain the muscle, get rugged. These butterfingers be fumbling, squash a scrimmage and rub it in Robitussin. How I give them concussion, they seeing double, they rushing and pass the shovel, the dirt and rubble, I bury them under it. Stay in your huddle and get 10 yards back, never turn your back. I'ma pull your flag, I go full contact, out punch, out kick like a shotgun.
Hey, we are back. We are back. And look, there's a few different changes. Now, mind you, just wanted to go ahead and let you know, Austin's still with us, just out for the evening. So, do with that information what you will, but we're back. We're officially back. All right. Took a little bit of a break. I know you see some new graphics behind us. DeForest Buckner with Harish, as always. So, we like that. Okay. We're cool with that. That's our thing. All right. But you know what? Glad to see you guys back. Glad to have you guys back, man. It feels like it's been a minute. It's been a little bit over a month, right? It's been a little minute. How y'all doing?
Real quick, I got a question. That's just a real simple question. How did we get DeForest Buckner on this football team?
We traded for him.
We did?
Yes, we. I feel like you know this, and this is a pointed question.
Well, some people are just surprised that I don't know this being like a DeForest Buckner stan. Now, we're not here to call out names, but just some people just think I had no idea this was a thing. I just want to call that out.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
No, thank you for telling me how he got my favorite player on this team.
So with that being said, welcome back to the Horseshoe Mob podcast, where we're covering everything Colts related. We'd be remiss if we didn't congratulate the Chiefs for winning it all. And then now we are now in the midst. I think we're only maybe about 3 weeks away from the new NFL season being underway. We still got a few events. We have the Combine in Indy this upcoming weekend. So I think the commits are already flying out for that. And but you know what? In the meantime, we got some things to catch up on since we've been gone. One thing we do want to do is make sure that we get to the guys. All right. So we have with us this evening the DeForest Buckner stand himself, Harish Nukala.
Welcome back, Colts Nation. It's good to be back.
We have with us the man who has Nick Cross as his background picture for good reason, because I don't know why we keep not playing Nick Cross, but we have with us Josh Senior, everybody. Oh, wait, can't hear you.
There's a delay.
Oh, there we go. Well, Josh gets his audio straight. And I'm Chris Jackson, as usual. But yeah, just glad to be back with you guys. Glad to be back with you for the season 3 as the Horseshoe Mob. Like I said, we're coming to you with everything Colts, and then slandering, some teams here and there, even though they pretty much slandered themselves at this point. Hey, shout out to the Bengals for franchise tagging T. Higgins. I know that messed up a lot of people's plans.
Welcome back.
There we go. Okay, there we go. He's good now.
That was an insane delay. Josh, we're glad you joined us.
Yes,
you hear me?
Very much so. Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Was good.
All right, there you go. There you go. Yes, that is Josh Senior, everybody.
He finally
yeah,
found the power button.
we were just talking about how T. Higgins getting franchise tagged put the kibosh on a few teams' plans. One of those teams being a team that got the Bengals offensive coordinator as their head coach now. But that's neither here nor there, or both here and there, depending on how you look at it. So yeah, definitely a big thing. We got a lot to talk about. Okay, we got a lot of things to talk about, and we got to address some things first. So we have Sarah commenting. I'm ready for free agency combines and the draft. Yes, so are we, Sarah? And she says, please resign Pittman Jr. and Grover. You know what? So we've been seeing some things, I think, on Twitter, probably been seeing a lot. I think re-signing Blackman is probably going to be high up there in terms of priority too, because after him, I have some faith in Nick Cross, but I don't really have a lot of faith in Rodney Thomas. And so, if we don't have anything like that in safety, we're going to continue to get exposed. And we know how Gus Bradley plays his secondary. So we need help badly. So yes. And then I'm not sure who this is, but he says, bro, Edgerrin James was at my school tonight and I didn't go. You screwed the pooch on that one.
I don't know what was so important that you can go meet Edge.
Exactly. You didn't get to meet Edgerrin James. Shame on you. Yeah.
Shame on you, Eagle, America, World, Anchor, Us, Flag.
That's right. We're just gonna call you Mr. America.
By the way, I think this is the first time I've seen it, but we now get Twitter comments.
You said we never what?
We now get Twitter comments. I've never seen this.
Yes, we do get Twitter comments as well, especially when they're commenting on the live. So if you are watching, make sure that you're liking, commenting, sharing, all that good stuff. And let's get to it, because we definitely got some things to talk about. And Sarah brought up one of them. Congrats to AR and his fiance on marriage soon, and the kid, and Blackman too. Yes. So AR is now engaged to his high school sweetheart, and they got engaged while at their baby shower. So yes. So congratulations to the now soon to be Richardson family. All right. And then Julian Blackman over the weekend also got engaged to his longtime girlfriend. And congratulations to them as well. Man, listen, this has been a great offseason for the guys, okay? Nobody's getting into any trouble. Everybody's just out here just being a family man or just doing this. It's just like it's just good to see. It's overall it's positive, okay? Because like I said, we got a whole lot of crazy news during the season. So this is refreshing. Okay. This type of news is refreshing to us. And then he said, I didn't know his son played for Cincy. Neither did I. So
Neither did I. I just found that out. I was today years old when I found that out.
Yeah. And then he says, y'all know me from AFC South Trash Talk on Facebook. From back in the day, we've met at Texans versus Colts. So y'all probably met him at that game that y'all went to in Houston.
Yeah. No. We probably met at the game in Indy. Oh, no.
No, because remember.
Houston.
Yeah.
You came down here, Josh. Yeah. What's up, dude?
Yeah. So, okay. All right. Well, like I said, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
And
blue.
And also, make sure you are still going to www.fanbattlesports.com. You see all the articles, any news, anything up to date. You'll be able to see previous episodes on here. And like I said, you'll be able to look out for articles. We're going to see content coming based on the combine, based on what we're looking for there. So you're going to see a lot of great things coming up. A lot of great things. I mean, after all, you do see the brand new banner behind me. That's the new and improved Horseshoe Mob logo, courtesy of actually, I think it was a co-op effort. I think it was Matt Briggs. Not going to plug their podcast because we don't like Texans. But you know what? It's just like Matt Briggs and Josh himself. Josh has been very, very instrumental in making sure that he's updated on the social. So we appreciate you, my boy. All right. And so other than that, welcome back. And we got a lot to cover. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So Jim Irsay, end of January, or like I said, around the time Super Bowl time, they said that he was on the mend. They said that he was having some respiratory issues. He was found unresponsive. There was a lot of rumors going around. There's a lot of stuff, and we're not going to speculate on that. We're just happy that a statement was released stating that he was on the mend and that he's getting better. Like I said, prayers of good health to Miss Ursay, the Ursays. And yeah, like I said, it's just like the rumor mill just went crazy on that one. And we just don't want to be part of that because honestly, it's just like we don't want to put rumors out there that's putting bad energy out there. And you don't want to be part of that. Like that's to me, that's trash. So it is what it is. But you know who wasn't trash? Dwight Freeney. And you know where Dwight Freeney is? In the Hall of Fame. Dwight Freeney was one of this year's or was in this year's class of Hall of Fame inductees. He was amongst Julius Peppers, Andre Johnson, of course, Patrick Willis was in there as well. So really, really good class. I know a lot of people were jilted by the fact that Reggie Wayne didn't get in, but I mean, honestly, it's just like Dwight Freeney getting in, very, very, very well deserved. Oh, we got All right,
Andre Johnson getting it as a coach.
You said what? Andre Johnson? Well, yeah. I mean, well, okay. So you know what? We count Andre Johnson as a Colt. It's not like he was traded here. He wanted to come here.
Right.
So
he signed as a free agent.
So shout out to former Colts greats Dwight Freeney and Andre Johnson. And when Frank Gore gets in, we're gonna claim him too.
Yes, sir.
Hey, but Frank Gore spent a good 5 years here.
Oh yeah, he was here for a minute because I know he was here for a minute, and then it was him and Marlon Mack, and so he was here. Yeah. Then they said, "I'm happy Ursay is on the mend." Absolutely.
Yeah, that was scary.
Yeah, no, absolutely it was. But like I said, just glad to hear that he's good. Definitely make sure that there's nothing to worry about now. Happy birthday to him, by the way. Oh, I guess it is his birthday. Okay, happy birthday. And then also, big news started buzzing because we got a couple videos. There was one that was a previous video, but then we actually were able to see that Anthony Richardson is throwing again. So he's ahead of schedule. He is actually going, and he has been throwing on the right shoulder that he suffered that AC sprain with. So now he's back throwing. Like I said, pretty much just on or ahead of schedule. So he should be able to actually just start officially going once training camp starts. So that's definitely exciting news, being that whoever we get in the draft or whoever we get is going to absolutely be instrumental in making sure that he starts building chemistry with him from day one. And then actually just getting back on the same page with the guys as well. So and mind you, they said that the news was that he that the one video was old, but then they released an official video. So I mean, do you feel like they ran damage control, or do you feel like they were just like, oh yeah, we definitely need to drop this as soon as possible?
Well, I mean, I think number one, I just want to make sure everyone's on the same page here. Anthony Richardson was throwing real footballs. He wasn't throwing tennis balls. He wasn't throwing Nerf balls. He was throwing a real NFL football. So I just want to make sure we clarify that, because we know the last time we got excited about a quarterback throwing footballs again, and ended up being he was throwing tennis balls off the wall, and then we went to the cellar. So I just want to make sure we clarify he was throwing real life footballs. Secondly, listen, AC joints are funky little things, man. Like I've seen, obviously being a Texas fan, our quarterback tore his AC joint in both shoulders. He had AC joint sprains, right? And he came back in a few weeks, and it took him some time to adjust. So I think it's smart for him to do this young, do this now, get it out the way, and let's get ready to ball. I think he's ready to ball. He has the right mentality, and I think he's ready to go.
Absolutely. Now, this was a perplexing move. The one that we kind of we heard about, but we I'm gonna get you guys' opinion on this. So Nate Ollie, who came in as the person who was responsible for the D line. So he was a D line coach. He's out. Now, as opposed to, let's just say, looking for somebody in the league, they went to Pittsburgh and they went and got Charlie Partridge. Now, I was kind of perplexed by the move because I feel like he wasn't, or how do I say this? Gus Bradley is responsible for a lot of what we do on defense. And I mean, with the D line, I mean, if you look at the D line, Samson Ebukam had about 9.5 sacks. Kwity Paye had about 6.5. Buckner and Grover, when together, were actually able to really just plug up the middle and just actually create some pressure so that the guys on the outside can eat. So what was the reasoning behind potentially going and getting Nate Ollie out in that way and bringing in somebody who's been coaching in college for God knows how long? Can't hear you, Josh.
I assume that this was a move. I think the new.
I think he's on a long delay.
Yeah.
What about now?
Okay. Well, since Josh doesn't want to join us anymore, I think it's an A+ move. I thought it was a fantastic move. Look, I'm not saying there comes a time, and Ollie's been around for a few years, right? And it's not to say that he hasn't improved this defensive line. Sacks are one thing. We all say this. This team struggles to get pressure on a consistent basis, especially in key moments. If you look at the Houston game, sure, I think they didn't they sack CJ like maybe twice, 3 times?
Yeah.
But they also struggled to get pressure on him at key moments, and I think that's also on the defensive line. Scheme can play a little bit of a part of that. Charlie Partridge has a very good track record of developing very, 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 very good defensive linemen. Obviously, Aaron Donald is most notable. He's also responsible for Cansey, who's the defensive tackle.
Elijah Cansey
down there in Tampa Bay now. So very instrumental in bringing him along. This guy has been in the college ranks, Pitt. And when you go to a school like Pitt, it's not a very big football school, right? And you're able to bring out talent like this, especially a Hall of Fame defensive end talent, defensive tackle talent. That speaks volumes. And personally, I think this was probably one of the best moves that I've seen so far in the Shane Steichen era.
Yeah. So for me, I guess I kind of, and the thing is not necessarily in the same way, but the thing is, I feel like Nate Ollie was kind of like the scapegoat for Gus Bradley in this case.
Sure.
Like I have no doubt in my mind that Charlie Partridge is somebody who does have, that history. But for me, I mean, it's like, if we're talking about like developing guys, it's just like, I mean, we can talk about like what he was able to do from, let's just say, like for the last few years. But the thing is, it's like when we think about Pittsburgh, we're automatically going to Aaron Donald. He wasn't even there when Aaron Donald was actually at Pittsburgh.
Aaron Donald gives him credit for his development.
So, I mean, and the thing is, I think that might be more of an individual thing, and I think that's probably like the ultimate cosign because no. So the thing is, with Partridge, he was an assistant head coach at Arkansas, but then he didn't go back as a D-line coach at Pitt until 2017.
So
at least that's from what I'm seeing. But but like for me, like I said, it's just like I think the ultimate cosign is the fact that you developed Aaron Donald. And to me personally, we can talk about like, okay, if Aaron Donald credits him for that, then that's fine. But the thing is, we also have to understand that one person doesn't make it a factory. Like, It doesn't mean that you're automatically, like just because you develop Aaron Donald, it doesn't mean that you're literally going to develop a bunch of Aaron Donalds. Because when it comes down to it, it's just like Aaron Donald is one of one because he's a freak of nature. I mean, this is a guy who's putting up 500, bench pressing 500 as a warm up.
Yeah. I apologize. It was not Aaron Donald. It was J.J. Watt.
Oh, J.J. Watt. Okay.
Yeah, my bad.
Yes. Oh, yeah, because he was a D-line coach in Wisconsin for a time.
So J.J. Watt credits him a lot for his development. Obviously, while he was there, which helped him develop to get in, become one of the top picks in the draft and go into a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's cool. Like I said, that's something that is absolutely plausible. But also at the same time, like I said, I think with Ollie, it was, like Gus Bradley still has to call that defense.
Sure.
And for me, with Gus Bradley still calling the defense, knowing that he's not somebody who's going to be blitzing as often, and he has that cover 3 look that's so heavily zone dependent, I don't feel like Nate Ollie was necessarily given the proper chance because, I mean, I think he did a damn good job just being able to do it because, I mean, Samson Ebukam, who was somebody who was basically signed off the street, who's kind of been like a journeyman to a certain extent. I mean, like I said, 9.5 sacks, opposite the guy that we drafted in the first round. So, I mean, like I said, I think he probably got the short end of the stick on that one, but I am excited to see what Partridge does because of the fact that it's like I said, if that D-line can get to, just like I said, just get a little bit more of that potential that we know them to be able to have, then we're going to be fantastic next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely good. It's definitely good to get a guy that is good at position and well respected around not only college but NFL as well. So it's interesting to see a different look. But that was that move along with Mike Mitchell move was puzzling as well because it's not really their fault that they have a bad secondary. With the young, knowing that the secondary that came in would have those issues, they knew that going in. So you didn't bring back them for those reasons. I didn't get that, but
well, and that's the issue that I have because you get rid of Mike Mitchell as a secondary coach, but then you keep Ron Mealis.
Yeah.
You keep Ron Mealis. And I mean, I know that he is somebody who's tenured, who's well respected, but it's clear that it's not working out because you brought him over from the Raiders, and the Raiders secondary wasn't good.
Correct.
And then you have him over here, and then our secondary isn't good.
Right.
So it's like it's I don't know. It just kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Is it because they don't want to play the guys that they know that are talented? I mean, not playing Nick Cross. You put in Rodney Thomas over Julian last year when Julian was healthy. And then, Isaiah Rodgers Jr. or Senior, sorry. You didn't play him. It's so many things that's, been causing conflict around, the fan base over the years of why you're not playing this guy. We drafted this guy for this reason. Nick Crosby traded a 4 and they didn't play him. It was puzzling.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure. And Rodney took a step back this year versus first year. So I don't know.
I don't know if it's even Rodney taking a step back. I think he just probably played well past expectation. Like he got into a game and he played better than expected because we've gotten caught up in this cycle where we say, oh yeah, well, somebody took a step back. Well, it's just like, how much of a step back can you take when you're a 7th round pick? Like, it's just like, it was the same thing when it came to Jalen Jones, because they were just like, oh, Jalen Jones played really well. And it's just like, I get that, but it's not necessarily to say that he had these lofty expectations, because going into it, if you're a 6th, 7th round pick, there's not really an expectation there.
Well, the reason I say expectations or why they're high, because they moved Julian to a different position from his position. Julian was his starting position, so they made him to change positions and starting Rodney, which I'll play his position after changing.
Yeah, and it's I don't know. It's just also I'm just kind of I am kind of sick of this whole it's just like not playing guys, because the thing is, wasn't Nick Cross somebody that we traded up for?
Correct, we did.
Correct.
So you traded up to hold him over for 2 years?
Well, there's this. I think we get into this thing of like, I think we kind of we ran into this with Shaq, right? When he was Darius, he played a hell of a football, blah blah blah. And I feel like the style of football that he played was like more of a freestyle. There wasn't like a role with him in the offense, in the defense, right? There's not a specific.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, hey, go out there and make plays, right? And I was like, wow, this guy, he just makes plays. All he does is make football plays, right? Now,
Yeah.
Health and all that plays a factor into this. But then when you get into a Gus Bradley system where you are asked to do a specific role and your job is to do that role, it changes things a lot, right? When you ask a football player to go be a football player, then they can. A lot of guys can just go out and be football players. But how many guys have the brain power, the knowledge, the anticipation, and the ability to go do a specific thing? Dwight Freeney is a great example of the opposite side of this, right? Where he might have been asked to be a football player, but what does that mean? Go be a linebacker, whatever. But when you give him a specific role where that fits into the nature of his scheme, his role in that defense was to go get the pass rusher, and that's what sell that. And he was put in a place to be successful. When we say, hey, Shane Steichen put this guy in a place in a position to be successful, it means putting him in a space to use his strengths that fit within the outputs of his scheme. And I think that's what we start to see is when these guys are asked to do something within a scheme, maybe they're asked to do something because that's what their role is, but it's probably not what their strength is. And I think that's a little bit of coaching and a little bit of the player and their limitations as a player.
Yeah, I mean, and that's understandable. Like, I get that because it's just like I think like Shaq was pretty much at his best when he was able to just kind of roam free and make plays. Like, I think he's more of a playmaker, especially with the way that he got shifted around. Because I mean, for a while we're sitting there comparing him to Fred Warner in the way that we're just like, he's getting tackles, he's getting interceptions, he's getting sacks, like he's getting all these metrics.
Forced fumbles, stuff like that.
Yeah, forced fumbles. And then you ask him specifically to go and play in one spot. And because of the fact that he's used to roaming so free, now all of a sudden it's kind of like you put him in a box.
Yeah.
And it sucks because of the fact that it's just like, that when you gave him so much freedom, he was able to do it. But when you told him to kind of zone in on one particular piece, he was out of place.
Yep.
And it's just like, and it sucks because of how talented he is as a football player and how that was on display for that first 3 to 4 years that he's in the league, just to see now where you just ask him to be a linebacker. And then Kirby mentioned it too, his injuries crippled his playability too, because, it's just like I said, you go from dealing with a back injury to then dealing with a calf injury that then literally just goes into a back injury. It's just like, it takes time to come back from that. And it makes things a lot more difficult for him. But, like I said, all the best to Shaq on all his endeavors. Like I said, I think he will be a free agent unless the Eagles do re-sign him. But I don't want to talk about free agency, but we have to. And is MPJ coming back? Is he coming back?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, cool. Okay. Because like I said, it's just like he's been putting out all the cryptic farm videos, and he's been doing all the stuff that
It's all about making money.
Yeah. And for me personally, I don't see a scenario where he doesn't come back, because I mean, the man has a whole ass farm. So it doesn't make sense that he would just go and just leave this whole ass farm to go out to, somewhere else. Because it's just like, it just doesn't make sense.
I mean, he said he's willing to accept the franchise tag. So I mean, let's tell you right there, he either get tagged for $21 million or they sign, for more than 21. So I mean, it depends on what the negotiation period would be with his agent and BBB.
Big Baller Brand?
No. Market Band Ballot.
Market Band Ballot. Listen, we don't know what number Chris Ballard has, but he will not exceed that number.
Yeah. He said Shaq and Bob Sanders. He said what they could have been without injuries. Hate them, but part of the game. Damn it, B. Why you got to be like this? You make me sad.
There's
It's
so many
making me
Colts
sad.
players that fall into that same category. Austin Collie.
I was about to say Austin Collie is like
was
the
gonna be
first
a
and foremost.
Austin, you could even throw Brandon
Anthony
Stokely in
Gonzalez.
there late in his career. Brandon Stokely was probably a piece of that.
Yeah.
We had so many great players.
Yeah, Anthony.
Cato June thrown
Yeah.
into there. There's so many players that just got riddled. And obviously Andrew Luck just got riddled by
Trey.
Yeah. My guy, Taekwon Lewis. Y'all gonna leave Taekwon Lewis out?
No, he got it. He sucked.
Marlon Mack.
Marlon Mack.
I would say Marlon Mack. Yeah.
Yeah, because Marlon Mack, man, he stays healthy. Him and JT together, that's a 1,000-yard duo, a 2,000-yard duo. Like,
yeah,
out,
it could have helped. It could have helped us win the horrible AFC South.
Yeah.
That we still have 0 division titles for.
We're not gonna get into that, Reese. You know, I don't want to get trolled.
I mean, I can do it for 30 minutes.
So we are all on the same page. MPJ is absolutely coming.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
Okay, fantastic.
How he
Glad we
comes
got
back,
that.
I don't know, but he does come back at least for this season.
Pay him an orbit gum. I don't care. Like, listen, just give him some money.
Yeah, give him something.
All right. And now, 2024 Combine. Who are we looking at? And you could pick one person on offense, one person on defense. You could pick 2 people from anywhere. Who are we looking at?
For me, receiver. I know everybody was talking about Keon Coleman, but I was in between Brian Thomas Jr. or Tez Walker from the Tar Heels, receiver wise.
Tez Walker. Okay.
Yeah, Tez Walker. Defense, Nate Higgins from is it Clemson? Yeah, Clemson. And you got from Florida State.
Keon Coleman.
Oh, Jared Verse.
Verse, yeah.
Verse.
Verse
would be nice. Yeah.
Yes, very nice.
I did 2 apiece. I'm sorry, but I just.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
Yeah. Just because I don't want anybody to take my credit like they do every year. Whenever I say this guy's gonna be awesome, but Roma Dunze, I don't know if he's testing this week. But Roma Dunze to me is the best wide receiver in this class. There's nobody that's better than Roma Dunze. So I'm definitely standing for him. If we talk about linebackers, defensive line, there's a whole slew of guys. Obviously, Leatu Latu, it would be a great pickup as far as linebackers because we need one. Nate Higgins wouldn't be bad. Jerson Newton wouldn't be bad. But, again, I'm going to stand for my boys. But if something happens and we need some guy on the defensive line, a Byron Murphy or a Tavondre Sweat would be excellent for this team. Those 2 guys are going to be first-round defensive tackles. They're both probably going to end up being picked in the first round after this weekend. But we need the same positions we need every year with this GM because that's just what we do around here. We still need another wide receiver.
I didn't think about that.
Terrion Arnold is a great pick. Kool-Aid McKinstry. This draft is just so deep. Last year's draft was deep. This year's draft, it is insanely deep.
Yeah.
But we need the same position. It seems like every year we always need the same positions. We need wide receiver, we need defensive end, and you need a cornerback.
O-line.
O-line. You can listen.
The right guard.
You can put together Billy Bob Joes at O-line and do just enough, right? As long as you take care of the main places. But with the right pieces around them, we're gonna have a dog to pick from 15. There's a lot of options out there.
Yeah.
And even into the second round. I'm very excited about this draft. This draft is deep as hell.
Yes, very much.
Very exciting.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. And I think if this ends up going the way that it's supposed to, 2 different scenarios. two different scenario. If we end up, let's just say we re-sign Pittman, and let's just say we get somebody like a Jalen Johnson from Chicago. I wouldn't mind getting a wide receiver in the first round. So if we're gonna go that route, I mean, going 15, and you know what? No, matter of fact, let me just scratch all that. I want to see Brock Bowers.
Yeah, I was gonna
and
say
the reason why I want to see Brock Bowers
is to make Dio happy.
I literally no, absolutely not. Shut your face. All right. So no. Well, it's because of the fact that we've heard so much about this whole Brock Bowers thing. You know, with even people throwing around generational. I don't know how a tight end is generational, but whatever. But the thing is, it's like I really want to see how he's able to do, because I want to see the reactions to exactly who or how he does that will change exactly how things go. I have a feeling that there's going to be guys who are going to shake up the top 10 because of the fact that they're going to test out so good at the combine. They're going to look back at the tape and be like, this guy seems like he's now a top 10 or could potentially be a top 5 for that matter. And so that could potentially end up pushing people down. I mean, I want somebody like a Jared Verse to not do that well at the combine, because if he ends up falling at 15, then I think that's going to make all the difference. And
I was saying the same thing with Marvin Harrison. If he don't do anything at all, they can drop him.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, so if I'm going offense, guys that I would like to see, I want to see Brock Bowers. I want to see Rome Odunze. I know we talked about him. I keep on seeing Malachi Corley kind of like circulating around, where just like want to see exactly what that's about. But if not, I also want to see TJ Tampa, Jared Verse, Tavondre Sweat. That was a name that I saw, that I got a chance to look at him, and it's just like, dude's a monster. And you know, somebody said, "Oh, you got to be careful with those guys who are physical beast and this, that, and the other."
Man.
But the thing is, for me, being able to be that big and that athletic, if you have somebody who can kind of hone that, where, like I said, if Charlie Partridge is as advertised, then get him right from day one. Like, that's somebody that I think could make a hell of a difference, especially on a line where it's just like, if for some reason we lose Grover Stewart, like, you know that we have, or if we lose Grover Stewart, Buckner has to be re-signed next year.
Yep.
So we know that we're going to have these things coming up. So I think the most important thing is going to be to make sure that if we're not going to sign guys, make sure that we're getting replacements that absolutely are going to be hands down just knockout picks. Like, I don't want us to trade down to get guys who have done 250 hours of community service. I want dogs. I'm tired of this nonsense with getting Boy Scouts. Listen, if he had a little bit of an attitude problem in college, then that's fine. Let's go ahead and get this guy who you know for a fact is going to not only be competitive, but is going to be in there, and he doesn't care who's there. Like somebody like Tavondre Sweat, I could see him going in and potentially saying, "Oh, DeForest Buckner, you're fantastic, but I'm going to take your spot." Like, I want guys who are going to come in and they don't care who the number one is. They're going to come in and they're going to be like, "Listen, I'm going to be taking your spot. So either you're going to fight for that or you're going to give it over. Either way." And that's exactly what the hell, I think, to me, that's what this team has kind of been missing. I know I got into it. Well, not got into it. It wasn't like a bad thing, but it was just more or less of an exchange. I said this team has kind of been lacking in identity in how they've been able to really just go and do what they do. It's just like, we don't have anything that we're doing specifically. There's a lot of teams out there that are able to thrive based on things. Now, mind you, I think with Shane Steichen, you're starting to establish it. It's a next man up. It's, listen, you either go out there and perform or your ass is going to be benched or cut. That's it. It's either or. And so that's why, like, right now, I'm just like, hey, you're going to have to really just go out there and show out and show up and make sure that you're doing everything you need to do. Otherwise, you're going to be unemployed.
Yeah.
The thing about Tavondre Sweat, here, I'm going to be honest with you. Tavondre Sweat is going to be big as hell, right? The dude's like going to be damn near 400 pounds. He's not which is very dangerous in the NFL, right? Because there's guys just so athletic. So you can get down to 360, 365. That'd be good. He's going to be he's a plugger, right? He's going to plug a lot of gaps. It's going to open up things for Buckner and Grover, because then they're having to put two guys on a guy like Sweat, right? He's going to be a run stuffer. You've got pick 16 and pick 42. A guy that we haven't talked about, Tyler Nubin, is a guy that I've heard a lot.
Yeah, Nubin. Yeah.
Well. There is going to be an opportunity in your first two picks where you can get back-to-back instantaneous playmakers for this team. So if we trade down, I'm gonna be pissed. Like there's a list of things that we can do that no matter what you tell me, and Marvin Harrison Jr. won't participate. Not surprised by that. There's a list of things that I've said on this show before we went on break, that if we do, that Chris Ballard should be fired on the spot. Trading down is one of those things. I do not want to see a trade down. If you trade up, wow, that's a little bit different, But one thing this team lacks, and you spoke a little bit about it, was not only does it lack an identity, it lacks depth. Like for as much time as we try to get these guys, and you know what? It's not that it lacks back end depth. It lacks front end depth because the back end guys that should be the back end are being drafted to be the front end guys, and they're being put in spots where they're not successful. Again,
like fifth, sixth, seventh rounders that are going into those like starting roles where you're just like, those are the guys you would think are going to be the development picks, but those guys you're saying we have faith in this guy to go out there. No, because the thing is, you have the ability to be able to go and get those guys up front. Like, think about if you go, like, to me personally, somebody like a Keely Ringo last season. He was a guy who I believe is a development pick, and he went to the right situation because he went to an Eagles secondary where he's able to learn from a Darius Slay. Maybe not so much learn from James Bradbury because he's not really that good. But then, like, you have to, like, you get the opportunity to go ahead and develop for a year or two before having your name called on. And now you're just, like, truly ready. Like, as opposed to where you're saying, oh, yeah, we like Jalen Jones and we like this, that, and the other. But the thing is, Jalen Jones came in as a 7th round pick. And even though we liked him coming out of college, there's no veteran presence out there that matches what he does. Kenny Moore is a good cornerback to me. But the thing is, Kenny Moore doesn't play the same way that Juju Brents does. He doesn't play the same way a Jalen Jones does. Like, Juju Brents is a rangy, physical cornerback. And then you also have Jalen Jones, who also is kind of the same archetype. And then you have Kenny Moore, who can kind of like do a little bit more bump and run. But then he's a guy who also can kind of go up and then just contest. So the thing is, it's like, if you get somebody this year at corner, you're going to need to make sure that you get somebody who continues to fit that mold. Also, it's Gus Bradley with the cover 3, where he demands every cornerback be over 6 foot, and Kenny Moore plays like he's over 6 foot. So, I mean, that's fine. But the thing is, you got 6'3", you got 6'2" with Jalen, you got all these things. And like I said, it's just like this team still, I think, to me personally, is still searching for that identity. Shane Steichen makes it easier, but we still have to establish that. So, I mean, definitely still have to go ahead and just have some more work to do. But the combine is going to be interesting. And, one
final thought on that. It goes back to what we were talking about, Rodney Thomas, right? He was a developmental corner that ended up playing really well to begin with. But then the expectations change constantly in this league. Now we look at him as a guy that's like, well, this guy sucks. Well, he was a 7th round pick. Well, Tom Brady won the Super Bowl 7 times. And he was a 7th round pick. Brock Purdy was just in the Super Bowl. Like, expectations are constantly changing for these guys that may have overachieved as they come in, but as those expectations change, what they were really brought in for is still not looked back at. So Rodney Thomas is still very young. He's only his 2nd year in the league.
Yeah, it's his 2nd year. Yeah.
Yeah. You've got to give him some time to still figure it out and continue to be kind of like that developmental guy. But and then you've got to it goes back to team building, which our GM lacks. is how do we help supplement these guys as they continue to grow and develop with guys that we know that can help us win today.
Yeah.
While those guys continue to grow and develop, they might not all get second. Like we might go get Roma Dunze. It's not saying that he's going to get a second contract, but he's a guy that we could pretty much plug and play today while we wait for like a Tez Williams to develop or a Josh Downs or Austin Collie, whatever, Alec Pierce, whatever the case might be. It supplements those types of picks with guys that you can help. That's how you build the team, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And like I said, the thing is, at the end of the day, we're just kind of, just being armchair GMs. But like I said, it's kind of what the fans want. It's what we know in our heads. We would prefer for this team. But I mean, it's going to be interesting to see because we have a whole entire off season. So, like I said, we have the combine coming up this weekend, and then the official league year starts. I think was it March? I want to say March 19th. 10th? Is it 10th?
Let me check. NFL league year. It is. Let's see. The league year starts March the 5th.
Oh shoot! So next week, okay. So then the new league year starts March 5th. Yeah. So the thing is, we're gonna start seeing a lot of moves made, especially following the combine. And with that being said, go ahead.
March 13th.
13th. Okay.
You're right.
So yeah,
because that's when free agency starts.
Yes. Okay. So March 13th. So like I said, we're going to be keeping up to date with everything. Be on the lookout for the reels. Be on the lookout for updates. We'll be making sure we keep you guys updated. In the meantime, fellas, let the people know where they can find you on social media, especially on Twitter, where apparently we are the most active, or Facebook and Twitter, where we're the most active. Starting with you, Harish.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at the Uncle Gandhi. You can find me Sunday nights on the AFC South Fan Battle podcast with sometimes these guys, sometimes some of our division partners who suck at football. And you can find me Thursday nights at the Longhorn Fan Battle podcast, where we talk only about the Longhorns and we talk about EA College Football 25. We will have Matt Brown on the show soon again with a follow-up interview. So stay tuned for that.
All right. What about you, Josh?
You can find me here on Tuesday nights at 9:30 Eastern Time. You can find me on Twitter at Who Is Josh Senior. Some Mondays on the AFC South Fan Battle podcast, same time, 9:30 Eastern Time. And Fridays or Saturdays when we talking shit with the division, depending on who wants to smoke.
Absolutely. And you can catch me at CJ Colts Fan on Twitter, Chris Jackson on Facebook. And you can catch us next week where we will actually be live with Sports After, I believe it's Sports After Dark. Drop Balls podcast.
Let me double check that for you.
Yeah, we will be live with, I believe it's Chris Lewis.
I'm double checking.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Next week. Yeah. Chris Lewis. Is it the Sports After Dark podcast?
Yes. After Dark podcast, Drop Balls podcast, generally pissing people off. And like I said, he'll fit right in because this is a group of people who generally just piss people off. So with that being said, people, make sure you are tuning in, make sure that you're liking, commenting, sharing, follow us on social media. And with that being said, people, welcome back. We welcome you back for another entire season. And we can't wait to get this started. But you know what? We got to kick the season off right. We got to kick it off the right way. And with that being said, Sam just loves